Welcome to the Take Ownership Podcast, everyone. Your go-to podcast for everything taking ownership, whether it be in business, real estate, or just life in general. I'm your host, Josh Smith, and today's guest is going to be awesome, folks. So I met this gentleman earlier this year. It was actually at a underwriting workshop out in Arizona. So it was one that Bison Peaks Ventures was putting on. But prior to that, so I had seen a lot of his stuff on social media. And I can tell you one thing, guys, his personality that you see on social media is exactly what you get in person. He's super genuine, down to earth, and he brings all that energy, folks. So he's also a journeyman lineman, and I'll let him explain how he explains that. It's hilarious, but so he's a journeyman lineman by trade and a real estate investor with a focus in creative finance. Pretty much during any other free moment that he gets, and that's also when he's not spending time with his family. So he does have a wife and three kids. So busy, very busy guy. So if you're wanting an example of someone who one manages a very demanding W-2, along with killing it in real estate, along with a passion for serving others through teaching, along with also maintaining a family, then this is most definitely the episode for you. And with that, let me welcome to the podcast, Mr. Michael Alora, aka Big Mike.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah,
How you doing
Mike.
today, Josh? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Mike, thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. That's an honor to be here, man. Thank you.
It's a funny thing is, as I mentioned, so obviously I'd seen you on your social media content before we went to that group, and I remember when I got there, I saw you walking. I'm like, man, I recognize this guy from somewhere. Like, where do I recognize him from? Oh, that's Big Mike.
Right. I remember seeing you, and I was like, I think I know this guy. I think he has a blue background on his profile
Yeah,
picture,
yeah.
but I didn't know who you were. I was like, it is you.
It's so funny. We like deal in the virtual world so much. It kind of cracks me up. But yeah, so with that, like kind of how I like to start these things is really one, kind of just give us a little background on one. I think like as far as Big Mike, that moniker, like where'd you get that name from? And then with that, kind of just tell us a little bit more of what your backstory is, kind of leading up till
Yeah,
now.
yeah, for sure. So I've been called Big Mike for years because I've always had like a big, broad shoulder, right? Oh, that's Big Mike. And people see you have a big personality. I'm like, okay, cool. But when I met Pace and Yuma exactly like a year ago, he told me, hey, you got to start doing videos. Where are you on social media? And in my mind, I'm like, brother, I type with one finger. Like, I don't do social media. I joined a challenge to do a couple of videos a week, and I was literally just out of ideas. And I remember going to work in the morning. I was praying on my way to work. And okay, this is crazy. Like, when you speak from the heart, you just feel it come out. This was just like descending from the top. And out of nowhere, it's crazy. I was like, how can I make a video? And it dropped in my mind. Borrow, invest, generate. I'm like, oh, thank you, sweet baby Jesus. We're doing a video.
I
That's
love it.
how that started, brother.
So would you say borrow, invest,
And generate.
and
That's how I do
generate?
every one of my transactions. Out of all of them, I'm proud to say I'm $0 out of pocket. That doesn't mean you have $0 in your account. Don't be irresponsible and over leverage, right?
No, 100%.
But yeah, I borrow money from different avenues, whether it's a self-directed 401k or an IRA account, private money lenders, IULs, or funded life insurance policies. What I tell people is if you have a money problem, then you don't have a problem at all because there's people out there that want to put their capital to work. And something that it took a while for me to understand was I used to stress, like, man, is this going to make enough money to pay back my private money lender? Come to find out, most of our lenders, they don't want their money back. They want to keep investing. I'm like, okay, let's extend it. So
It's
no,
like
it's
I'd
been
like to
great.
keep those returns coming in, please.
Yep, yep. So that's how that started, brother. But my story starts pretty much when I was a kid, man. Come from a divorced family. My dad left when I was 9 years old, and I remember at age 14, my mom was going through foreclosure, and I remember seeing the cars pass by, snapping the pictures. I kind of knew what it was, probably the bank or the trustee. So she was working two jobs. At that time, I was in middle school, and I had the bright idea of I need to get some money. So at the time, I was cutting lawns and washing cars for $3, trying to help her out, but it wasn't enough. So what I did is I jumped on a taxi, went to the border. I'm literally 10, 15 minutes from the border, and hopped on the bus. And I decided I was gonna go cut some lettuce at 1 in the morning. And yeah, I was 14 years old. I didn't even know my social security number, but
Oh,
there was a
geez.
big list. So I just looked up and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a number from each one of them and get on there. And she obviously found out and she told me, hey, you're not doing this, get back to work. Thank God we were able to save the property, everything went back to normal. But my passion for helping people, especially in pre-foreclosure, believe it was born at that time. I remember the stressful times. So even now that I go door knock on Saturdays, I never go with the idea of trying to buy the property. I'm always there to show them the options that they have. If nothing works, then I'm offer to buy. But I think what that created in me, being growing up without my dad, was anything that I wanted, anything that I wanted to figure out, I had to do it myself. Right? I had nobody to teach me. My mom was, at work all the time. So I think that translates to why I did not want to join Sub 2 in the beginning. It took the people 5 months to get me to say yes.
I
But so that was when I was 14 years old, brother. And fast forward to 2015, I was homeless in Denver, Colorado.
in
I left
2014,
in 2015.
2015. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I was chasing my career to become a journeyman lineman. At the time, I was what they call like a groundman, like a labor worker. I was broke, sleeping in my truck at the drop site, eating tuna cans. It was tough and cold. I
Yeah,
was just trying to make
Colorado. I
it.
grew up in Colorado, so yeah, no, it gets. Which part of Colorado was it?
Denver.
Denver. Oh yeah, it gets pretty cold there, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it was the first time I left home, right? So I was just out there doing my thing. I think the next milestone for me was 2019. I passed my test. I became a journeyman lineman. It's a great paying W-2, great benefits, but I've always known that it's a vehicle to where I'm going. Um, I always wanted to invest. I started getting into stocks and cryptocurrencies, and I did okay with that. But we wanted something that I could physically see, like, hey, we should get into real estate. So that's where everything started for us, really. Getting into real estate, but not knowing how to do it. Our plan was to get we sold our first property that we bought and we made to the penny $100,000. And my plan was to take that money to the auction and buy myself a home to rent. Little did I know there are sharks there that don't want new people. So I don't like taking no for an answer. So I asked myself, how do I get the property before it goes to the auction? And I had no idea what I was doing, right? So I was just on YouTube University and I figured out what a pre-foreclosure was. Naturally run into Pace Morby. Like, oh man, that's gangster. I want to do that. But then the people were trying to get me to join. I was like, I ain't paying for nothing. I've always figured things out myself. I'm not paying for nothing. And they would call me. So why pick Sub 2? Why do you want to do a deal with Pace? I'm like, I don't even know the guy. I don't want to do a deal with him.
I
Not
just,
having
I
it.
just want to get stuff done, man.
I know. Yeah. So that came with a lot of roadblocks. I had a possible deal that I could have gotten, but I didn't have the contracts. I didn't know what title company to use. And overall, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a community to back me up, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, you know what? Let me give this whole sub two thing a go. Um, and then we had a pretty big family emergency happen. I put the courses on pause. And I finally got to do the courses, and it took me like 3 weeks to get through it. And the moment I finished, the next day I went to work and I lost my job. I'm like, no way. It just felt like one step forward, two steps back, right? I'm like,
Jeez.
what is going on? So I told myself, if I don't land a deal this month, my family's not going to eat. I was okay financially, but I psychologically cornered myself like that on purpose.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of door knocking, a lot of no's. It was over 300 homes in about 3.5 weeks that I door knocked. And finally, I got my first deal. And when I did, I was like, no way. Even when we closed, I was in front of the house. I was like, is this mine? I felt like the substitute police was gonna come get me. It felt too
Yeah.
easy.
This actually worked.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how I ended up, man. And now I'm addicted to this stuff because even if you get a little bored, you just change your strategy and there's a whole different world waiting for you.
Yeah, you will never learn everything in real estate. That's what I've noticed. It's like there's no way. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you're bored, then you're obviously not looking in the right places.
Yeah.
So your
Yeah.
primary strategy right now, I don't want to get into this a little bit more, but so obviously that job, when you lost your job, when was that?
That was in 20, it was January 9th, 2022.
22. Okay. And then was that a lineman job at the time too? And that it's
Yeah, I was a journeyman lineman. My whole crew got laid off here from Yuma.
oh geez.
So just seeing the face, my wife's face, when I told her we lost our job, and I took a call in New York and another one in Texas, chasing the storms to get the power grid back on. Just saying goodbye and seeing my kids waving and crying. I'm like,
Jeez, man.
yeah, I'm on a mission to do something else now.
That's a tough situation. But you're still a lineman right now, right?
Yes, I am. Yep. Right now I'm working. Well, they cut our hours actually, so I'm only working 50 hours, 50 to 60, which gives me the weekends to go do more real estate.
50
Um,
to 60 per week.
yep, and that's kind of like my break.
Only working 50 to 60 and still crushing it in real estate, guys.
70
So
hours a
I
week.
just want to point that out to anybody that's making excuses. This guy has a family, three kiddos, young kiddos, a wife. He works 50 hours a week, which he thinks is not very much, and then he also crushes it in real estate. So if you have an excuse, there's your reason not to have one. That's awesome, man. But
It feels like part-time because I've been working 70 hours plus for the past 5 years, so I'm enjoying
yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, my brother, he works in the oil fields, in the fracking industry, so yeah, he's had some like crazy shifts. My shifts, I think my last job that had that, there's nowhere near that amount. I mean, maybe 60 hours on, but that was like for maybe months at a time. It wasn't something that was like it took months to get out of that. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't a long-term thing. But yeah, I talked to people like you and my brother that, and it's a brutal job from like a physical perspective too. So it's like it burns you out on both ends.
yeah. No, it's a good job, but it's only a matter of time. You see older linemen and they're usually pretty beat up.
Yeah.
We're in between the danger every day. Like we see a wire here and another wire here, and you touch that and that, you're dead. It's like every day there's something that's trying to kill you.
Oh yeah.
Um, I enjoy it being in heights and climbing the poles. I told my wife I'll climb
Adrenaline
the pole
junkie.
if I have to.
Yep. I love that.
I think the cherry on top, if people want to compare how their day is going compared to something that I do, which is pretty insane. I wake up at 1:45 in the morning, Monday through Saturday. Sundays, I sleep in until 4 a.m. I commute 5.5 hours every day to and from work just because I never wanted to be a dad on the road. So I get home to put my kids to bed, do bedtime story. Um, how do I close these deals is on my drives. In the mornings, I'm networking with people from 3 to 5 in the morning, and my schedule's pretty packed.
Are you,
On my drive back, it's about 3 to 3.5 hours. It takes a lot longer. And I step in as a closer and get deals under contract. I have my dispo manager. So I've created this system that's not too complicated. Everything that I do in steps. So taking that into account, I'm like, okay, how do I stop chasing leads and have the leads come to me? So people know me as a closer now. They bring me the lead. I close it and I have a dispo and then we all get paid.
dude, that is awesome. That's why. Who are you talking to at 1 to 3 in the morning?
Oh man, so I'm part of a mastermind networking group and it's all about networking and it's showing you how to break the Facebook algorithm, how to become visible. And people meet me there and I don't know if you know JJ Azizian.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know him. I know the name, but yeah.
Yeah, he'll force you to network with somebody. Like get his number, get that number. And people just want to talk, right? They've heard my story, they want to do something like what I'm doing. So I'll just start scheduling them in. Hey, my best times to reach me is 3 to 5 in the morning, Monday through Friday. Some people are like, oh no. Well,
That's awesome.
some
Yeah,
people
no,
are. So
you've got a really good story, man. I mean, obviously, I mean, there's definitely a lot of rough times, but I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's honestly what makes a good story in a lot of cases. It's not fun when you're going through it, but yeah. But yeah, 14, going out in the middle of the night and
yeah,
working to keep the lights on for your family. That's a whole different perspective. I think a lot of people uh, take some of their teen years for granted when you've got situations like that coming across. Like I grew up in a family of 10, and it's kind of similar. I can definitely relate to you on that, but similar types of situations. But yeah, that's wild. So as far as when you turned over into real estate, what was your thought process? Like, or did you have like 6 month time horizon on when you wanted to get out of your day job, or what's your plans there, like long term goals?
So on that note, I feel like every 6 months I'm just a different person mentally and as an investor. Like you keep
Hmm.
reinventing yourself to become better and start scaling. So my initial goal was to retire by age 40. I was like, "Oh, that'd be a good year." And now I'm like, I want to retire yesterday. Now
Yeah,
that I know more and how to do more things, I'm like, okay, there's no reason why I couldn't scale. So we started with single family homes and we cater to traveling professionals, mainly traveling nurses. We rent by the room and it's been great. We actually replaced my wife's income. Um, and now she went back to work to a title company. She got a really good opportunity. I'm like, okay, cool. So we're in the process of chasing my income now. So I did the math. I need quite a few homes. And I'm like, it's gotta be, I'm not on a sprint. It's definitely a marathon, but the more I study it, I'm like, why don't I get into multifamily or like RV parks, right? Everywhere I go is RV parks when I'm traveling. I'm like, I know those make money. So that's where I'm headed next, brother. I want to scale my business into that avenue of RV parks. I think it's up and coming. There's a lot of money to be made there. And that's exactly where we met, the underwriting class for RV
yeah,
parks. So
yeah,
I will have an RV park this year. I'm still
yeah.
learning how to underwrite.
Same, same.
So,
I'm right there with you, brother.
yep, there you go.
That's awesome, man. So as far as uh like, because right now you're primarily working on pre-foreclosures, is that the you're really honed in on that, but then you're transferring over to the RV park space?
Yep, absolutely. The only reason I landed my first deal is because I'm really stubborn. I had no systems. I was just door knocking everything. Pre-foreclosures, for sale by owner, expired listings. I think that's why it took me over 300 homes to get my first deal. But when I figured out that you have to focus on one strategy or your own niche and just go for it, I started seeing more results faster. But yeah, pre-foreclosures is what I love doing. I love helping people. But at the same time, I'm still helping people land their first deal. I set up my goal last year to have 5 people and I ended up doing 7. This year I doubled it. I want to help 10 people. I'm already at 4. So we're killing it
It's
this year.
it's early in the year, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Four
Yep.
already. Yeah, and then the other thing that kind of like what you mentioned when you lost your job and you still had some of the income set apart, but you pretty much locked yourself into like, hey, I've got to make a deal within this month. I think that it's just super impressive because I mean I take that as more of like I would call that aggressive accountability. Essentially, it's like you're really setting it up to where uh you're painting yourself and putting yourself in a corner to make sure it actually happens. Because you said you joined sub two, then you lost a job directly after, within like a couple weeks.
So I
And
joined Sub 2 and I was on week 1 of the courses. And then my sister got into a really, really, really bad wreck. And we had her in new mind. We were just taking care of her.
oh,
And
geez.
once I started back up, and it took me about 2 weeks to finish the program. And then the very next day, I lost my job. So
And then it
it
took
was
you
just one of those.
another 2 or 3 weeks to get the deal.
Yep. 3 weeks after I finished my program and learned a little bit of everything. It's a lot of information, as you
And,
know.
and you realize how fast that is, right?
Yes, I was a man on the mission, brother, and I still am.
That's awesome. Have you read Dan Martell's book, Buy Back Your Time?
On what, brother?
Dan Martell, his book, Buy Back Your Time.
Mm-mm.
Dude,
I've seen it.
you got to read it. So he's got a really good story too. And but as far as he mentions, the reason why I brought it up is he mentions as far as like kids that or adolescents that are deal with a lot of chaos in their upbringing, where things aren't like your average, I guess. Like for instance, I mean, you had a single mom that was kind of holding the ship up, and like that generates a lot of chaos in a kid's life for sure. Having a single parent in that situation, but he mentions because of his upbringing, it was a bit challenging too. But chaos is like the people that are they have that chaotic upbringing are usually make the best entrepreneurs because they're honestly more almost immune, not I wouldn't say immune, but they deal much better with chaos. And owning a business is beyond chaotic. But I think honestly, if you read that book, I think you'd relate to it pretty well. You'd like it with that drive you're doing. Get it on audiobook, man. Like definitely listen to it. Like
Right now, I'm going through Atomic Habits. I'm almost done with that one.
Dude,
It's
Atomic
pretty.
Habits is a good one. I like that one. That's really
Yeah, I'm
good.
like, bro, I haven't read more before. Like, I'm not really good at reading. Well, I don't even like saying that because I don't use don'ts or no's, but
Yeah.
I'm getting better for sure.
Hmm.
But in my thought, I'm like, throw some pictures in there, bro. Like, keep me entertained. So I'm about a year out. I'm gonna write my own book, actually. The
Yes.
Big
Dude,
Method.
you 100% with your story, you 100% have a book. Like
Yeah, but mine's
easy.
gonna have pictures and QR codes that lead to a video. Like, I know how it is to not be like grabbed by a book. So mine's gonna be like one of those kid books with the thick pages.
There you go. Then have a QR code and it'll link to a YouTube video for each one.
Yep,
I love
exactly. That's
it.
my plan.
New York Times bestseller, children's
Yeah,
book.
it's doable. Man, that's one thing I've learned, man. I'm not the same person I was before I joined Sub 2.
Oh, same.
Um, like I mentioned before, you reinvent yourself, right? It's
Yeah.
such a mindset game from the very beginning to the never ending. Every step of the way, every level of entrepreneur, it's a mind game. And when you figure out that you could literally do anything in life, there's no cap.
No.
You just start going for it, start swinging harder. That's
Yeah.
it.
Possibilities are endless, man. And the
Yeah.
skills that we're building, it's just uh, the- a lot of people they well, aren't you worried when you leave your job? It's like, no, I mean, if I've got my revenue covered, I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? I go back and get a job? Like that's literally my worst option. Like what's so bad about that?
Brother, on that note, so I had a meeting coming up. I think it was October last year. Oh, I hosted meetups here in Yuma, by the way.
Yeah.
So I had a meeting coming up, and I can't remember what hurricane hit, and they wanted us to leave to Texas and then start driving up to New York. But I had a meeting coming up that was on a Tuesday. That Thursday, I had a meetup coming up.
Hmm.
I'm Big Mike, and I do what I say. There's no way I'm gonna miss that meeting. I had people coming from Phoenix, California. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
cannot miss it. So I literally quit my job so I can go to the meeting.
Are
And
you
people are
for
like,
real?
"You go?" Like, oh, you'll get another job. What's the big deal?
Dude, I love that. That is
And my
ballsy.
father's like, brother, you gotta go. They're sending FEMA out there. Do you know what FEMA stands for?
Yeah.
Find
Or
every Mexican available. Let's go.
I never Mexican available.
So they wanted me, but nope, said no.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going with the actual term for it, but yeah, no, that one's a good one.
Yeah, it was federal emergency something.
So you ended up left the job for that week. Did they take you back the following week or what? Like how'd that work out?
Yeah,
That's
no,
hilarious.
so that was on a Tuesday. I'm a union lineman, right? So we have union halls in every state.
Hmm.
I quit and I went to the union hall and we call it signing the books. You just put your name that you're available for work, you're a journeyman lineman, and that same day I got another job. I was like, yeah, I can't start till Monday. I got a meeting coming up.
That's hilarious. Yeah, man, you definitely got a book in you for sure. You got all kinds of stories in you. I can already tell it just by this short conversation. So we've got an idea of what you're doing now. Obviously, you're transitioning into the RV parks. What would you say are your next steps at this point in time to make that transition? Like what's your main focus at the moment?
So something that I've done so far is use private money lenders, but my lenders are people that I know. Even though I've been getting more lenders that want to work with me, I'm going to be capped. So I'm thinking about actually what I'm going to be doing is creating a syndication or some sort of fractional investment,
Hmm.
but I don't know enough about it yet. So that's something that I'm really doubling down starting in April.
So you're looking for more private money from that aspect. But like since you've got that drive, obviously you mentioned come across RV parks all the time. Are you like door knocking at all, or meeting with any of the owners,
So
driving for dollars?
yeah, but at work with my bucket truck. So
Yeah.
usually I'm doing a job up the pole and then I always boom straight up so I can see everywhere and then that's an RV park. I'll show up with my bucket truck. Hey, how you doing? How you... This happened last 2 weeks ago. We were by a job and I seen an RV park. I pulled in with the bucket truck. I seen this guy walking towards me like, "Hey brother, you the owner?" Like, I wish. That's the owner over there. Like, "Hey man, you selling this place by any chance?" "I actually am. We just fell off market." I was like, "No way." So I'm always out there talking, brother.
That's
Doesn't matter
awesome.
if you're in your W-2 on your way there or during work, if you're going to lunch or you got to go deliver something, you always should be watching what's going on because there's deals out there. It's like driving for dollars and getting paid. So I actually submitted my first offer into an RV park.
Oh, dude,
This week.
awesome.
Yep. It got denied, but
That's okay.
I,
I mean,
I
that
sent
you're
it
gonna
off
get
and
a
everything
few no's
and get
before
things
you get a
going.
yes.
Yeah. So this one was here in Yuma. So this is why I really wanted it. But I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna force it because bigger numbers can make you or break you, especially when you're starting out, right? So I'm not gonna over
100%.
leverage myself.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm trying to get better at, and it's gotten better over the years, like especially from when I was initially getting into investing, but just being more unattached to the outcome. Like if you just constantly have that in your mind, just be unattached to the outcome, things go over so much smoother, in my opinion. Because it's like because when you're really like, oh, I really want to get this deal, I really, those typically the ones where it's like, oh, that didn't work out, darn, too attached to it.
Yeah, when I started, I was that way. I was like, oh, it's a deal. I gotta get it. So after I landed my first deal, 2 weeks later, I got two more deals. Now I was three homes plus my primary. And that very last one was in Missouri. And that's exactly what happened to me. I rushed it. It was so far away. I didn't think about it too much. And then months went by and I hadn't fixed it yet. I was like, oh man, I know what I did here. So eventually I wrapped it, right? I got it at a good interest rate, wrapped it out, and that was done with. But yeah, if I could do it all over again, just because something is a deal doesn't mean it's a deal for you.
Oh,
So be
100%.
very strict with your buy box, and it's only fair for your company and your family. And it's going to play out well in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. So with that, I mean, your progression has been extremely fast. I like most people when they first get into real estate, like if they the day from taking the course to actually getting a deal, or the day from getting involved with a community or a group where they're really honed in on it. I mean, typically I've seen a lot of people where it takes them 6 months, 9 months, couple years. So yours is a little, I'd say yours is definitely unique. So everybody don't think that, oh, you're going to get a deal in 3 weeks. I mean, it's possible, but this guy's obviously pretty tenacious. But as far as your advice that you would give somebody that's new, like what would be your advice for someone starting out getting into the space?
Super important. Three simple questions that you have to ask yourself. And the first one being the most important. What is it that you really want? Figure out what you really want. Number two, who's doing what you want? And number three, how do you bring value? I was not networking when I started. Like I said, I joined just to get the contracts and what type of company to use. It took me months and months of just seeing what the actual community was about. And I was like, oh, okay, let me dip my toes into, hey, I made a friend here and there. That's how it was for me, brother. Is I think if I were to go back, I would find somebody that's doing what I want to do. That's how I found Michelle Bison. Okay, and then okay, how are they doing it, and how do I bring value, right? So I, brother, I tell people about Michelle like at least 3 to 5 times a week. I'm like, you
Yeah.
gotta check her out. I'm such a big fan.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. The Basones are like they're killer. I love their
Yeah,
stuff and they're doing a phenomenal job. So I'm same way. Like I mention them as much as I can because yeah, I definitely yeah I really appreciate it and they're super down to earth too. Like
yeah,
they're such awesome people.
yeah.
So how do I bring value? No, I like that. That's very good. That's solid advice. And I think that's a lot of us like when we first get into it, it's really hard because it's not like all of us are professional networkers by any means, so it's dude, networking it's an art form. I don't think people realize it, but it takes some getting used to. And then I was the same way when I started. It's like, okay, I'm just introducing myself. I mean, being friendly, but it wasn't very targeted. Like I wasn't really intentional about it. So still getting better on that front. But yeah, it's funny. We all have those growing pains we go through,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
One thing I do want to tell people who are just starting out, um, when you're gonna do something, like for example, real estate, think about it beforehand if it's something that you want to do. Don't just dip your toes in there and be like, ah, I don't know, or try to half-ass something. If you're gonna do it when it's time to go, then go play hard, right? Play to win. And even if you fail, I'd rather fail and say, you know what, I gave it my all. I learned a lot, but I failed. Let me try it a different way. Or if you succeed, then double down on it. But doing something and not going it all the way, just half-assing something, that keeps me up at night, and I think it keeps you up at night, and a lot of people watching.
Hmm.
In some sort of way, you bury yourself because you gave up.
Oh
If you
yeah.
don't give up, you cannot lose.
100%, man. You just got to keep at it. That's the thing. People, I mean, they try things for a few weeks or maybe it's even a few months and they go, "Oh, I didn't make anything or I didn't, nothing happened." They don't see the small amount of growth that happened and they just think, "Oh, this must not be for me." It's like, "No, you just stopped before you got a breakthrough." That's all it is. Like literally if you don't stop, if you don't stop, you can't lose. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of that image. I'm sure you've seen it. It's like two guys with a pick trying to get the gold, and one of
Yeah.
them's one hit away, and then
Yeah.
he stops. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you were right there.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. That's usually when a lot of people they tend to give up is right before they get that breakthrough, and they don't realize they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah,
But literally anything in life, as long as you don't give up, you'll eventually get there. I mean, a lot of that's like entrepreneurship. People that run businesses, the main reason they're successful is they're one, they've got the grit, and two, they're disciplined, and three, they never give up. Like they don't stop. They find a way to make it work.
yeah. It's just common traits like that. Being consistent, not giving up, knowing what you want. It's all a recipe for success.
That's another problem. I think a lot of us just don't know what we want. It,
That
it,
is the
it
most,
does take it takes a lot of it took me some time to know. I mean, it's just people, I think people figuring out their why is probably one of the most important steps. So I like the fact that that was your number one on the list. So no, super sharp there. But as far as the RV parks go, what's your current buy box? Like, are you looking predominantly in the Arizona area or what markets are you looking for in case someone's listening to this and maybe can bird dog a deal for you or something?
yeah, yeah. So I think anything in the southern parts, I don't want to be leaking with frozen pipes up north. I've had enough of the cold weather.
Yeah.
If it's in Arizona, it's a huge plus. But I know I gotta be open to other states.
So pretty much the Sun Belt states.
Yep, absolutely. Um, I'm thinking 150 NOI would be the bottom, just to start off with. I'm definitely looking for like a starter pack, just because I know I'm gonna learn so much from it. I'm not
Oh,
trying to
for
get a
sure.
resort. But definitely start scaling from there. Once I do the first one and do the syndication and get the investors in, I just gotta see it. I have to, I learn by touching and doing and
Oh
seeing.
yeah. Yeah, I can already
It,
tell you learn by action. You learn by
yeah,
action big time.
exactly. So I just gotta do it once and then move over.
Yeah, I'm dude. I'm the exact same way. I typically like I can get the concept kind of up front, but until I actually go through a deal, that's when things click. Like the sub two, I was like, okay, I get this conceptually, but I don't know. And then I got through my first deal. I was like, oh, let's go,
Yep, yep, exactly.
let's go, guys. But that's awesome. So as far as pad sites, how many pad sites are you looking to start? Like 50 to 100, or what's your ideal?
I think starting off I think I'd say 50, minimum of 50, up to 120. Um, I think that would be good, especially if it's in Arizona, because I keep saying that because I know a lot of people in different trades, and friends with all of them, right? And we always do favors for each other. I know plumbers, electricians. Um, so that would be a huge plus, especially if it's over here in the southwest of Arizona. But I am definitely open. I think that the underwriting makes or breaks the deal.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
if you do your numbers right and you go actually see the property, don't buy it sight unseen, I think that can get you a good deal anywhere, as long as the numbers make sense.
Now, with your first one, are you gonna try to do something similar to the Basones where you like move in temporarily, get the real feel?
Okay, so there's a park that got sent to me from Tennessee, and it was way out there. It was like a $3.5 million park. It was bringing in like 400,000 a year.
Oh, was this West Tennessee?
I can't remember, brother, but it was beautiful. And I remember thinking, oh, Josh lives out there. I told my wife, she's like, let's move out there when the kids get in summer school or summer break.
Do
We'll
it.
move there. I thought it'd be cool, but yeah, I'm not against it. I'll go
Yeah,
anywhere.
dude, go for it. You could
Yeah,
sub to yourself an RV and then move out there.
yeah, exactly. With Mike Davis.
Yeah, exactly. Go with Mike Davis and then rent your current home in Yuma and then yeah, go back and forth.
Yep, yep. I
Heck yeah.
actually did a creative deal with a vehicle. I got
Oh yeah,
a
that I saw that the other day. It was the Camaro, right?
69 Camaro. I call it the creative Camaro now.
Ah, it's so awesome.
you know.
that is a beautiful car. Is red with black racing stripes, if I remember right?
Yep, I'm gonna go pick it up right now. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's speaking of that actually reminds me. So you like a lot of what's you're killer at marketing, man. Like you're actually I don't know if you give yourself enough credit, but you're really good at marketing yourself. I think that networking group's really working out for you. Because from your like when I see Big Mike, I think of one, your personality, which like the personality is awesome within itself. Two, you break things down really well. Like some, especially for someone that's new to the space, if it's a sub two, like you break it down to where it's actually simple, even though it's a complex transaction. So it's like less intimidating for somebody getting in. So I think that's great. And then three, your green lime truck with the sub two logo on it. It's like every time I see that thing, like,
Yes, I love that truck. That's typically what I like to go door knocking with, like in the wintertime when it's not hot.
yeah.
Definitely a conversation starter. I have it at every meetup. That's how I'm at pace. I have selling goals every year that I don't share with anybody until they become reality. And I was going all in with this whole sub two thing, right? I was like, I'm gonna get my money's worth, and Pace is gonna know who Big Mike is in Yuma. So I had the green blazer. I was like, it's like Gator green. I'm gonna throw a sub two sticker on it, and when I meet Pace, that's how he's gonna remember me. And yeah, I think it worked out. He
Yeah,
knows me by name.
that's smart, man. So what is it like that truck you had before Sub 2 then?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I got
awesome.
it. It wasn't running. Put a big motor, nitrous, ready for sand drags. But now, brother, I'll be racing anybody, right? But now that it has a sub two logo, I'm like, I can't even speed anymore. I'm representing sub two. I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I can't tarnish the name. Yeah, what's next for your family? Like outside of the RV park, like what's your main? I know you like to keep some of your goals to yourself, but from this like the end of this year, obviously you want to pick up an RV park, but after that, where are you headed? What's your North Star that you're heading towards?
so what I'm after is true freedom. I can do whatever I want with whoever I want, wherever I want, whenever I want. That's true freedom to me. And if you think back to every wealthy family, it always starts with that one person that changes the trajectory, right? Sacrifice, being tired all the time, delayed gratification. I'm that guy for this family. So I'm gonna change the outcome of my family. They're not gonna grow up how I did. It doesn't mean they're not gonna work for it. You should see my kids; they work for it. But
Yeah, you don't want them entitled.
it's my family's name, family's outcome. So man, thank God for my wife. She is the biggest support. She is my cape, and when she hugs me, I become a superhero, and I just keep going. Eyes on the prize. So
That's awesome,
yeah,
man.
we're a great team, beautiful family, and I think installing these habits in all my kids has motivated me to see what they're doing now. Like my daughter has $40 a month cash flow goal. She breaks down my pre-foreclosures list. That's $10 a month. She's now flipping hot Cheetos at school. And if they don't have the money, she'll give them a loan and they got to pay 50% back. She created her VIP buyers list that she's heard from me before. And her response was, Dad, people, it's like Sam's Club. People have a need to become a part of a group, so they'll buy more chips so they become part of my VIP's buyers. I'm like,
That's
should I be
hilarious.
proud or worried? I don't know what's going on here. You're 12.
You're dealing chips.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As long as it stays there.
Yeah.
But her goal is to have her first property when she's in high school.
That's
So,
awesome, man. Yeah, I think instilling those type of like having those type of goals and them seeing that. I mean, they kids don't really listen to what we say at all. They listen, they see, they act upon like what we do. I mean, it's all by what they see, that's what they do. So
yeah,
like having that examples, that's awesome. And the fact that you're getting to see that already, that's what I'm excited to see my kids get to that stage in life because they're still under 5 at the moment. So it's not
yeah,
quite there yet, but I'm excited to see where that goes. It's super awesome. So I guess one thing, so always like to end these with as far as like if for someone to bring you value, what would be the best thing, like your primary needs for someone to bring to you? Obviously, if they were in a bird dog some RV parks. So in the Sun Belt states, at least 50 pad sites. So that's one item. You've got the private money. Anything additional that you're kind of needing in your business at the moment?
yes. Okay. because no matter what I do in life, I don't want to be unreachable. I want to be able to keep helping people. Eventually, I'll do it at a bigger scale. But if you're watching this and you have no sense of direction, if you're struggling or know somebody that is struggling, please send it my way. I'd love to get him started. I remember that mental jungle when you first started, what path you're going to take. I want to help you. I want to do deals with you. I want to be friends with you. I'm not a transactional investor. I'm here for the long run. So if you know of somebody that needs help, send it my way.
That's awesome, man. I love that. So I guess what would be the best way for people to get a hold of you? Is it through like your Instagram or what's your preferred route?
I definitely prefer Facebook and Instagram.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
So they can find me on Facebook under Michael Loera, Loera.
Oh, I totally butchered your name at the first part of this. I'm sorry.
Loera.
I didn't have the.
My second last name would be better, huh? Barnett. My great grandpa immigrated from England. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't match.
On Instagram, it's 11 underscore Big Mike.
11 underscore Big Mike. Awesome. I'll put that in the show notes so you guys can get those. So that is awesome. So if you need help getting started, getting out of that mindset, sounds like Big Mike is definitely there for you, which is awesome. I really like that. He's got an attitude of servitude, which is really cool. It's always nice to see. And then the RV parks. If you find an RV park in the Sunbelt states, that's 50 pad sites plus, looking to get at least 150K NOI annual around there, give or take. So if you want to bird dog a deal like that, or maybe even wedge method, like go into a deal with Mike, give it your shot. And obviously, if you're a private money lender, he's got a proven track record with some deals there in Yuma. So, yeah, definitely be reaching out to Michael. And as I say on all these podcasts, if you are reaching out to these guys that are on here, you do want to make sure that you're leading with value. Try not to waste people's time. Obviously, if you're new, yes, there maybe you need some mindset work, but that's totally fine. Just make sure you lead with value as much as possible because the Mike is a busy guy. He's working 50 plus hours a week, which he thinks is not much, in addition to doing all his real estate, in addition to his beautiful family. So make sure to cherish his time while you got it because he is super helpful and he breaks things down very simply. So he's a really good guy. But Michael, Mike. Big Mike, all the mics, all the names. I really appreciate you coming on, man. But before we lead out of the show, is there anything additional you want to say before we close it out?
Brother, thank you for having me. Thank you for making this possible so I can reach more people and help more people, man. Thank you
Yeah.
for doing your podcast. It's so cool.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I appreciate you, man. But with that, guys, that is it for the show. And thanks again, Mike. See ya.
Thank you guys.